Alrighty, good morning, gentlemen. So this is my reply to Wranglerstar's video that's titled "The Unspoken Truth: Why We Might Not Make It." I don't disagree. I don't know. It's a profound thing to think about. Our nation is vast and varied, and from the mountains of New York to the mountains of the Pacific hills, the hardwoods to the giant the trees the trees that they import from Wranglerstar country to here to build cabins. So my answer to that is, I'm gonna try and I already talked for hours on this and it didn't record correctly. So I showed you guys this the other week. This is the Gideon New Testament and Psalms. This is the first Bible my parents gave me, and I brought that out here as well as one more thing that's extremely precious to me. And so I grew up in a closed community, um, probably somewhat like Wranglerstar Cody grew up in. And I understand what it means to just delete yourself from the community and you lose your functions, you lose your family, you lose your community, and you're on your own. And there is something in the heart of us men where we believe that we could homestead, we could make it on our own, we could withdraw out into the wilderness and build a cabin on a lake and never meet anyone else ever again, and never go to the wicked civilization except to buy axe heads and fish hooks or flour and sugar. We believe that, and maybe we could do that, but I don't believe that is the Christian's correct answer. I believe that we need to, first of all, be honest with ourselves. We need to take responsibility. We need to take responsibility for ourselves, for our beliefs, for our actions, for our children and their schooling, medical. Take responsibility in general. And one of the things we need to do, first of all, is we need to get out and find our community. If we're believers, we need to find a community of believers. And it took us about 7 years or so to find the place where we're at now, where our pastor is a servant leader and he's supported by the elder board, the board of elders. I don't think any man can stand alone. Recently, from the Mennonites, the old order Mennonites, we've been hearing about bishops at the very top falling into pornography and being accused of child abuse, sexual abuse, and as well as extortion and other financial, narcissistic, cult-like tomfoolery. So it just reminded me of the fact that even if you're at the top, you're still a human. We still need to be supported, no matter how high up we are. We can't let our pastor do all our dirty work. Our pastor needs support too. He's just a human. And we need support. You and I need support. We can't just run away to the hill country, to the mountains, and survive with our family and be cut off from the people, live off the land. Maybe we can. I think there's a certain extent of that is true, that is possible, that is going to vary from person to person and situation to situation. And I've heard the story of the PTSD, the non-combatant vets having PTSD, and the researcher, Native American researcher from the the Southwest. Sorry, his people that lived in community didn't have PTSD, even if they were combatant soldiers. And the reason for that, I believe, is community. Community could help take each other's arm and carry each other forward. Um, Carry each other through struggles. If there's financial, there's other things. Right now in America, I feel like the there's people out there that they can't afford a fuel efficient vehicle. They got the old Chevy V8 truck. They're working all week. They're putting or Suburban. They're filling the fuel tank, buying a pack of smokes, some scratchers, and a couple boxes of beer, and that's their weekend, that's their life. And then you get drunk on Sunday, and then it's rinse and repeat on Monday. It's just a miserable, miserable existence and hopeless. How hopeless would you feel if you were stringing along your old truck with bald tires, putting all your money in the fuel tank, paying off your child support, your addictions, and God will help you if your transmission dies and you can't afford to fix your truck. You're not getting to work and your life is over. You're homeless. Fortunately, there's enough family around so that doesn't happen, but if we had community, we would say, hey, we're not letting you just struggle like this. We'll just staff a training, junkyard training in there. Guys get together and help each other out, like Cody's talked of before. The young guys helping each other out, young married fellows, whatever. That's community. That's what we need. We can't allow social media. We can't allow religious divides and social things, the news, the college, whatever. We can't allow the government, the taxation, the low income wages, high cost of housing, rents, etc. Broken families. Broken families is a huge thing. If we could stop broken families, these women are raking these men. You don't have homeless women. You don't have homeless families. You have homeless men. Men. I'm not from Portland. I've never seen a homeless person here. I saw it on a police report once, but I might have and not recognize it, but there's no homeless people. But there's homeless men. The men. The men are the ones getting ragged, abused, and used and thrown to the wind. And broken families is a big cause of that. So if we have a society where we're each man for his own, we don't get to hang out with our friends, we don't have friends and community that'll come and help us fix our truck, and that's a good standard. That's a good rule of thumb. Do you have friends that will come help you change your transmission? If you don't, you need to go get some. It doesn't matter if you're a Christian or a believer. You need to have friends that'll help you fix your truck, move your house, whatever it is. You need to have friends like that. And what's happened is we become separated off from them by demands from work, broken relationships, family, whatever it is, and we can't have that happen. So maybe taking responsibility, maybe stopping bad habits and things, and trying to get better friends, and better friends will get you better opportunities. Maybe you'll end up in a better paying job and you can work your way into owning a property and having a stake in the system, getting rid of bad relationships. So that's what we need. We need to take responsibility. We need to help each other out. Not every one of us is as smart as you and I. Some people are clueless. Some people are numb to their own emotions, and maybe they're even business people. We have a lot we can teach each other. We can really help each other get forward if we learn that we need each other. We learn that we need to take responsibility, and we learn that we have a lot to offer each other. We're very valuable, each in our own way. And if we can utilize that and recognize that, the whole world would be a better place for it. So that's my answer. That's a good start. Having responsibility, having friends, having camaraderie with other men. We need to get out there and build our community. It took us 7 years after we got dropped in the cold water. It's not something we anticipated, but we took God's hand and we walked forward together. And there is one fear I have in my life, and that would be that my wife would want to separate from me for whatever reason. I know I'm not the most healthy and ambitious person, and I struggle to keep motivated and keep going and so forth, but I do love to talk about these things. These things are deep within my heart. I love my land. I love my community. I love the people that are here, and I would love for them to thrive. It hurts my soul to see people getting worked into the ground, seeing families divided and separated up with child care payments and things that are keeping us from going out as men and doing things that we've always done, like hunting or riding ATV or snow biking or whatever it is, or doing cold plunges. I mean, go for it. So that's the short answer, but we need to find community, and we need to find Jesus, and we need to be instructed and washed in the water of the Word. So let me tell you this story. So my brother was age 14 and I was 16. My mom and dad left for Pennsylvania for something, and we were trying to bale some corn fodder bales. We needed some twine. We went to the hardware store. On the way over, we got hit by a pickup truck with our horse and our dog cart. And he was life flight, and they almost lost him multiple times. And there was weeks and weeks and weeks where brain swelling and skull, cutting away skull and different things, and praying that he'd survive and giving him up to the Lord to do his will. And during that time, our bishop stopped by, gave me a $10 bill. I bought this Bible with it, and this is a reminder to me of all the things. I've read this through many, many times, and it is a reminder to me of the values that I was taught in an organization that I don't support anymore, and that's the Old Order Mennonites. Our bishop looked at my moms on one side of church and our fathers on the other, and he said, "You must teach your children convictions." And it hit me straight to the heart, and I became a man of conviction. And these convictions came from this book. This book is where my convictions come from. This book is a solid bedrock foundation on which my life is built, and it has allowed me to become what I am. I can tell you with confidence, there's a silo over there. When I got out of school at age 14 after grade 8, I was stuck with my dad all day alone. The rest of the kids were at school, and it was so painful that I could not take it anymore. And I looked up the ladder. I said, tomorrow. I said, I'm going to jump. I'm going to give. And when I thought it over, I thought, what if I fell down and I changed my mind on the way down? And it took a long time. I couldn't change it. So I said, so not to have regrets, I bowed my head in prayer. I told God, my Father, that I will give him tomorrow. If I can't take it tomorrow, it's suicide. It's over. It's done. We're going to climb to the top without any further thought, and that is it. So my testimony to that is God spared my life because of this book here. My first Bible and this one that I bought. And because of the teaching of conviction from my bishop was not happy. He was not happy when we left. Not. And it didn't matter to me because I was following God, and the consequences were God's will comes with his providence, so stay in it. That's what we did. We went forward, we left, we lost our community, we had to rebuild from ground up. We have wonderful relationships with our local people now. After 5-6 years, it's a good thing. Follow God. Just don't compromise. Be honest and find your community. You have to have other believers, and it's not easy. Anyway, guys, God bless you. Thank you for watching. I hope that I can be an inspiration and have some profound knowledge, something to refresh your mind, to refresh your energy, and refresh your faith in Christ. God is good, and he is still in command. And the only job we have on earth, God created us so we could come back to him voluntarily. He wants us to come back to him. We don't have to. We can be arrogant and proud and self-willed and stubborn and try and do our own thing, but he created us to come back to him. And if we don't, we're just out there struggling, punching at the wind, floundering about, doing the best that we think is right in our own minds, and it ends up being DIE and broken homes and the curriculum and schools that we have and the broken systems, etc., etc., etc. So find God in your community and take responsibility. Act accordingly.